Howdy folks, first things first, I apologize for not having my microphone in this video. Unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances, I happened to break it. The audio may not quite be up to par like it normally is, but this is still going to be a really good video, I promise you, so you want to stay tuned for the whole thing. First of all, I've been after this hog that we're going after right now for like a month and a half. I came out here and sat in this spot like 2.5 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and he came from the complete opposite direction that I was expecting him to come from. Completely winded me, didn't see him for a whole week after that, and then when he did start showing back up, it was late, like 11 o'clock at night until like 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning is about the times that he would show up. Now the last 3 days, I've been seeing him early. The reason I've been seeing him early is, as you saw in the intro, it is like Snowmageddon 2.0 or Ice Apocalypse, whatever the heck you want to call it, and everything's been covered in snow and ice, so these animals are hammering these feeders. They're hungry. So it's 5:15 right now. I told myself I was going to start getting ready at 5 o'clock to head out here. I actually started a little bit earlier than that, like 4:45. I'm heading out the door like a little at probably 5 to 8 minutes after 5, and this pig's already at the feeder. He's a big black and white spotted hog, super cool coloration, and I've got my bow in tow. We're gonna get out there as quick as we can. The feeder went off at 4. He should hang around for a good long while because there's plenty of corn on the ground and animals are hungry. It's gonna be kind of difficult to do with the sun being up as high as it is. We got like another hour and a half of daylight roughly, so I'm really hoping that as I sneak up, I got a north wind, I'm coming from the field side of this feeder, and I'm thinking that I might get busted. However, if I can sneak up on him and he has no clue that I'm there, then I'll be good. But once again, still out in the open, it's going to be kind of difficult, and there's still a lot of ice on the ground, so that's gonna make things a little bit noisier than normal here on my stalks. However, the sun came out today, did a lot of melting, so it will take the crunch out of the grass and leaves and everything else. We'll see how this goes. Gonna have to be super careful with it being as daylight as it is. And that pig came out yesterday at 5:30 p.m. and today he's here at 5. He's been just kind of around in the general vicinity of this feeder pretty much all morning and all day, all afternoon. He's looking for a quick and easy meal to keep himself warm. So we're gonna go put an end to this pesky hog, hopefully, because he has been running off a lot of other animals, not just other hogs, but deer specifically. He's been a huge pain in my butt. So we're hopefully gonna get rid of him. He's very wise and very educated, and in doing so, we will allow room for more hogs, which means more videos, which means I gotta get out and get this gate in order to start all this process. Let's go. I'm in a rush. I'm in a big rush because I didn't expect him to be here for another 30 minutes, and here he is, early. So I'll catch up with you guys in the field. Ramcat on a stock archery arrow. I just got a picture like 2 minutes ago. I got one just now, a minute ago. He's there. So it's so cold. My hands are frozen. Let's rock and roll. I'm about 75 yards out. The sun is killing me. The sun's running back in my face. It's gonna make this even more difficult if I can pull this off. It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be tough to get in close. The grass is taller out here towards the edge. I've been wanting to take that pig for a long time. He broke my arrow off running through the brush. But that fixed blade ram cat, I think, did the trick. I stuck him a little bit more on his shoulder than I wanted him to, but he's a younger boar. He didn't have a super thick shield, from what I could tell. I thought for sure, being right out here in the wide open, that he was gonna get me. He never knew I was here. That big boar, being as skittish as he is, every once in a while, and I'd watch him do it on the trail camera too. He'd just be sitting there eating corn, and all of a sudden he'd just take off running. Super skittish. And he just made a circle around the feeder and then turned around and came back. He gave me a perfect, about a 32 yard shot. Had my pin dialed at 25. So I aimed to touch high, and man, that was a hammer. I punched him good. I watched him, he ran off about 40 yards, 50 yards, took off, and then I watched him fall over in the brush right there. He laid down, and I celebrated, and I think I may have celebrated just a touch too loud, even though he's 50, 60 yards away. And then he got back up. I think he went about another 10 steps and fell over, so that is so awesome. Thank you, Lord. I shot him about 5 minutes ago. I'm gonna give him another, probably, 10, 15 minutes. So hopefully he didn't cross over to the neighbor's property. And then we'll make our way in there. There's almost nothing that compares to blood in the snow and ice. Hopefully we got a little bit of that. It'd be super cool. Trying to figure out where his tracks went. Oh, here we go. Ow, dang it. That sucks. Stupid mesquite tree. Looked, he dropped a piece of corn out of his mouth when he was running. This could end not too good for me. I may slip and fall. Oh, here we go. Finally. Sweet. First bit of blood. Alright, cool. Here we go. It's looking pretty good. There's my arrow. Cool. You see how much penetration I got. Yeah. I got a solid, probably, 12 inches in there at least, what he broke off. But, man, this stuff's so thick. This spot right here is where I saw him bed down the first time. And then he got back up. And I know he went a little bit further, but I don't know how much further. That's mud off of his coat. He just laid down right here. Blood trail's really starting to open up good up there now. I can see it. So we're gonna keep pushing up here and see what happens. Just as I suspected. See that barbed wire fence? Blood right underneath it. Made it to the neighbors. Crap. I'm only like 50 yards from the field. Dang it. Yeah. There's blood right there on the other side too. He's over there somewhere. Dang it, I really wanted to get my hands on that hog. It's so disheartening. I've lost, a handful of pigs because they do this right here. Everything crossed over the neighbors, but I just sent him a text and maybe he'll text me back and allow me permission to go over here and get it. That way I can finish this video out. But if I don't hear back from him by the time it gets dark, which I got another 30 minutes, I guess I'll just let him go. That sucks though. Man, in the blood trail, dude, the blood is so good. And I know I stuck him so good. And he's kind of, the way it looks on the camera, it looks like he's kind of standing up on a hill. Half of his body is elevated and then the other half of his body is standing like down in the tank almost on the other side of that little drop off. So it looks funny the way that the arrow flies in there, but man, I punched him so good. Right on that shoulder, you can hear the smack. And I know I broke through that shoulder just looking at my arrow. It's about halfway broken. That coyote's close. If I don't get permission to find this hog in the next 30 minutes, then coyotes, they don't ask permission. They're going to find him, but yeah, they're real close. About 4 of them. Dang it. I know I'll find him. He couldn't run too much further, especially with how good the trail is opening up now. Like, there's really, really good red stuff all over the ground, so what I'm hoping for is that he just ran like another maybe 40 yards and fell over in the brush. He couldn't go that far. Heck, I watched him bed down like 30 yards behind me, so I know that he's hurting bad. I just don't know what got him up and made him run again. So I literally, I watched through a hole in the brush. He just crawled up and laid down. I was like, oh yes. And I didn't say it loud enough for him to hear me, I don't think, but he got back up and kept pushing. It's unreal how resilient these pigs are. I mean, it's just crazy how tough they can be. And he got up from where he laid down the first time, and I know that I didn't bump him because I heard him get up, or I didn't hear him. I watched him get up from where he originally bedded down, but it's like he bedded down, and as soon as he laid down, he got right back up and then turned around and took off again. So, and I was listening, and it's dead still quiet out here now. Like, the wind is completely laid. So I know that if he would have taken off running, I would have heard him. I don't even know if the same guy that leased this last year or the year before, if he even still has this lease. So I texted him about 5 minutes ago, and he may or may not text me back. And I'm dang sure not trespassing for a stinking hog. But I don't want him to turn into freaking buzzard bait and coyote food for nothing. I mean, I know they gotta eat too, and there's not really a whole lot of food sources out and about right now, but still, I really want to put my hands on that hog because he beat me once, and I've been after him for a month and a half now. I really, really want to take a look at him. As much as I don't want to do it, it's been a little over 10 minutes since I texted the other lease guy that owns the property or not owns, but leases the property next door to me. He hadn't texted me back. Anyway, now since I have some good daylight, or decent daylight, I'm gonna go ahead and just finish this video out right here. And you know, if I end up getting permission here in like the next 20 minutes before it gets completely dark, then we'll go ahead and pick this video right back up, and you guys won't be seeing this outro. But oh man, it was a super fun evening. That's one of the hardest stalks that I've had in quite some time. I mean, I got right up to about 30 yards out in the wide open, sun in my face. Like, I just had all the odds stacked against me, but I just had a good feeling about it. And man, I got right down here on top of him, and when I watched that arrow sink into him, I was like, that was all in the money. And it was. I had really, really good looking blood everywhere. That pig's obviously, I mean, he's toast by now, but it's just unfortunate. And I know that I didn't bump him as I described the situation and everything earlier. But it is what it is, you know what? I can't complain. That was a ton of fun. It's good practice for my archery caribou hunt coming up in Alaska in August, and so I'm going to try to do a little bit more of the spot and stalk stuff to brush up on my skills a little bit. And I know that you guys really enjoy watching it as well, just the hog hunts in general. Oh man, you know what? To end this video on a positive note, I was going to do this at the very beginning of the video, and I was in such a rush that I didn't have a whole lot of time to do much of anything but just get here as quick as I could. But let's end this video on a positive note with the verse of the day. It comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 9, it's verse 25. It says, all athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away, but we do it for an eternal prize. This is one of my favorite verses, and I keep this one highlighted in my Bible back at home. It reminds me of my high school days, where training all the time for different sports, whether it be throwing weights around or conditioning or whatever. And then even as I transitioned out of sports into bow hunting and what I do so much, which requires like in spot and stalk type of situations and backcountry stuff, and filling feeders and doing all kinds of just ranch work and stuff. Like, you can train and you can do all these things and try to take care of your body, but it takes a lot of hard work. But the more you practice, typically the better that you're going to get. But the one thing that supersedes and goes above and beyond training for an event or a trophy or an award, and these things that aren't going to matter in a year or 2 or 5 or 10 years. Yeah, all those sports are fun and great and everything, but train in the Word, guys. Pick up the Bible, train in the Word, and pray. Use these things as part of your training. And in doing so, and in giving your life to Christ and trusting Him and believing in Him as your Lord and Savior, you will gain the ultimate and the best reward of all time, and that is eternity in heaven with our Creator God. So keep that in mind today, guys, as we close this video out. I'm going to hang out around for another 10 minutes or so, so stay tuned. Be sure that you hit that subscribe button. Leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I'm really hoping that I can put this outro in this video after we've recovered a hog, but like I said, still waiting on permission to cut across and see if we can't find our pig. But with all that being said, I'm going to close this one out. You guys are awesome. Thank you once again so much for watching, and I will see you in just a couple days.